Hey all, I have occasion to write something stupid, and so I thought it might make a decent example for both looping within loops and outputting stuff to a file. So the thing I want to do is I want to write a little bit of code that's going to make a test sign up sheet, basically. So I just want it to list like days and available times. And I'm just going to have it basically do that. So I'm going to need a couple of variables. I'm going to need a constant that's like the available days. Okay, and so my available days are going to be Monday. There's probably an easier way to do this without a whole bunch of typing. Pause this while I type. Okay, so I've got my 4 days that are my start time, or my 4 available days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've got my start time, which is going to be 8 a.m. I've got my end time, which is going to be 7 p.m. I'm going to have to deal a little bit with time handling. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just write a little function that's going to be called get time. Actually, maybe I should explain the structure here. Okay, so let me maybe add a goal. So my goal is to have this loop through all the available days and all the available times, and I want it to print out something like Tuesday at, and then something like 1 p.m. And I guess I want it to be formatted like that. So that's one of them. I do want the space character at the end. Another one I might want would be something like Wednesday at noon, because I don't want students getting confused about AM, PM nonsense. So I want noon to read out as noon. Okay, so I'm going to have to do something like get time that's going to take a number. So this is going to... So this function is going to takes an integer from, let's see, I suppose 1 to, I guess I'm going to make my end time, I'm going to go with military time for this, so I'm going to make my end time 1900. So I'm going to make this thing take an integer from 1 to 24, and right now I'm going to maybe say that there's no error handling, right? Because I haven't done that yet, and I don't actually intend to do that right now. So this takes an integer, 1 to 24, and returns a somewhat formatted string. Okay, so let's see. So this is going to get passed a number. And we're going to do a little bit of parsing. So we're going to say if the number is less than 12, right? So if the number is less than 12, then we're talking about an AM time. So we're going to return a string that is formatted, and it's going to be formatted to say number AM. Okay, so let me just check a couple things. One, I just want to check if that's working. And this is a kind of a like bite-sized programming idea, right? So if I write a ton of code and then I push run and something's broken, I won't necessarily know what it is. So I just kind of started with the first thing that I thought was going to be problematic, and I'm just going to test it out a little bit. So 4 a.m., that seems like the output I'm expecting from 4. Okay, so it's kind of working. Let's see, now we need an else if. And this one's going to be, if the number's actually 12, we'll return a string that says noon. And else, so in all other cases, we're going to return the number minus 12 p.m. Oops, a formatted string. You guys know you can return bare formatted strings like that. It's kind of cool. So we're going to return number minus 12. So that's going to convert back to kind of regular people time. And then we're going to slap a PM on the end of it. And I guess we could probably incorporate our error handling here, but my intention is only to use this function in this script. So I'm not gonna add any error handling to this. I am gonna add a little comment here just to remind myself. Convert back from military time. And I am going to say up here that the number that it's taking represents the hour in military. And that is not how you spell military. Military. Okay. Cool. All right, so I think I've got my function working. Let's just give it some checks. It's still working for 4. For 12, it's telling me that's noon. For 1400, that should be 2 o'clock p.m. Cool. All right, so that is working at least. So next thing next. Okay, next task that might be a problem. I need to get it writing to a file. So I went and looked up some Python code to write to a file. This is uncreatively called output.txt. I'm going to call it signup.txt, right? And oh, I did learn a cool thing the other day that I don't want to forget. So kind of cool. You can, oops, let me not do that because okay, let me test that this is working first. So right now this function's not getting called. All this should do is write a text file. Okay, so it completed without error. Let me just check that that actually happened. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. So I do know where that got created. It got created in somewhere real annoying. So here is the file path to my, so let me just put in an absolute file path here. This is, it should be noted, not the only way to do this, but it's some way to do it. So the issue is that I'm running Python through VS Code, so that that sign up file got created, but it's way down in the file structure, and I just don't want to go find it. So yes, I just created a garbage file somewhere in my system. Who cares? Okay, so I got my signup.txt file is writing. Cool. Cool thing that I learned the other day is print has an optional keyword argument. So if we print, let's just print get time 14 just because we can. And let's print that to file equals file. And I guess I should maybe say, just for clarity here, I'm changing the variable. So now we're opening this signup.txt thing in write mode as the, and we're aliasing it as the variable f, right? Object f. And then we're going to do write hi there, and then we're going to try a print line. And we're just telling it to print to the file f. It's actually kind of cool. Does actually work. Seems clear I'm going to need a new line. I think if I call the print twice, it'll print on a new line. Sick. Okay. So it's printing on new lines. That's rad. I'm going to remove my right thing because I don't think I need it. So this is going to form the backbone of how I get this stuff in there. So what I want to do is I want to make a little nested loop. So I'm going to do for day in available days, right? And then we're going to do for times in range. Now this is a thing that might trip me up. I'm not completely sure that I remember how range works. So I'm going to try in range from the start time to the end time. Okay, now I have this sneaking suspicion that range doesn't include the endpoints. Okay. Stop is exclusive, so it doesn't include the stopping time. So I'm going to just add one here. Okay, so just to double check that things are working, we're gonna do print, and now I need a formatted string here, and my formatted string is gonna be, let's see, so if I look at my kind of examples that I wanted, it looks like I want the day, and then I want it to have a space, and at, and a space, and then it looks like I need the get time at that time. Oops, and I guess I'm going to call that hour. Just so this is more Pythonic. Okay, so we're going to do day at the kind of formatted, right, hour. And then it looks like the other thing I need is a space, a dash, and a whatever that thing is. Wrangle? It's not a wrangle. Whatever. Okay. So, then I want to comment these guys out. They were just diagnostic. Let's see if this works. Oops. Okay, so one, it certainly looks like it's working. I'm seeing 7 p.m. I'm seeing 8 a.m. I'm seeing all the days. That's all copacetic, except it didn't print the file. It just printed the console. So I just need to tell it to print the file. Boom. Sick. Dunsies. I ended up with a new line at the bottom, which I'm whatever about. Okay, cool. That's been that. Let's add a couple comments and we can call this thing a day. I don't need my diagnostics anymore. I am going to say that this prints directly to the file, which is cool. I should probably credit the student that taught me that, which I think was Urshia. And maybe Drake. That was hella cool, guys. Okay, what else? There's spaces around a keyword argument that my linter's annoyed by. Use file to refer to the file object. That is a really dumb comment. So open the file to write to as f. Which is also kind of a dumb comment because that's more or less what this says. Okay, so then the only thing I'm going to additionally comment is this loop. So loop through both the days and the available hours. Range is exclusive of the stop value, hence the +1. And those are 2 comments, Joe. Come on, buddy. Okay. So I think I've got my plan here. Cool. These were kind of my goals. Yeah. Let's save this and see if the linter's whining at us. Nothing from the linter. Oops, what is that? Line too long. In that case, let me actually, I kind of believe that is actually reasonable for docstrings. Part of the reason that's more reasonable for docstrings than other things is if I import this as a module, I'd really like to be able to see the whole damn docstring. Otherwise, I think this is pretty well done. It's doing what I want it to do. It's not a big example, but it writes to a file. It's got a loop in a loop. And shit, it's real world. I plan on using this like now. Okay, see you guys.